Leading and managing projects. Part A. Determine the distinguishing features of projects and the constraints they operate in. A project is an undertaking that has a beginning and an end, and is carried out to meet established goals within cost, schedule and quality objectives. Projects have a defined beginning and end, have resources allocated specifically to them, although often on a shared basis, intended to be done only once, follow a plan towards a clear intended end result, and often cut across organisational and functional lines. An activity that meets the 4 criteria above can be classified as a project, and therefore falls within the scope of project management. Whether an activity is classified as a project is important, as projects should be managed using project management techniques. Common examples of projects include producing a new product, service or object, changing the structure of an organisation, developing or modifying a new information system, implementing a new procedure or process. Projects are generally considered successful if they meet 3 specified objectives, which are also known as triple constraint in terms of the following. 1. Scope. This relates to all of the work that needs to be done and all of the deliverables that constitute the project's success. Scope is closely connected to the issue of quality. 2. Time. This concerns the agreed date for the delivery of the project. 3. Cost. This relates to authorised spend on the project. Part B. Discuss the implications of the triple constraint of scope, time and cost. Triple constraints for the project can be defined as follows. 1. Scope. This relates to all of the work that needs to be done and all of the deliverables that constitute the project's success. Scope is closely connected to the issue of quality. 2. Time. This concerns the agreed date for the delivery of the project. 3. Cost. This relates to authorised spend on the project. All 3 objectives are important for an organisation's management, who want their projects to finish on time, within budget, and to produce the required deliverable. The relative importance of each objective may depend partly on the type of project being undertaken. Where a project is aiming to beat a competitor to market or has a non-negotiable deadline, for example organising the launch of a new product that has been advertised for a particular date, time will be a priority. In the case of a project with limited budget, cost is a priority. Once resources run out, the project ceases, complete or not. In a safety-critical project, such as building or aircraft construction, ensuring the quality of all project deliverables is a priority. Part C. Prepare a business case document and project initiation document. A business case is a key document for a project. It is used to propose a course of action to senior management for their consideration. When the project selection process is complete and a project selected for action, there is likely to be a great deal of information available to justify the decision to proceed. A business case is a reasoned account of why the project is needed, what it will achieve, and how it will proceed. An important use of the business case in any project is to maintain focus and to ensure that the project remains on track. It is possible that final approval for a large project will depend upon the preparation of a satisfactory business case. A typical business case will include description of current information or issues, analysis of costs and benefits, including any assumptions and consideration of intangible costs and benefits, any impact of the project on the organisation in addition to the cost, such as changes in structure or recruitment of staff, key risks, including an assessment of their significance and any action to be taken to mitigate them, recommendations. The project initiation document, which is known as the project charter, complements the business case document. While the business case explains the need for work on the project to start, the charter gives authorization for work to be done and resources used. The project initiation document also has an important role in internal communication within the organization, since it can be given wide distribution in order to keep staff informed of what is happening. The exact content of a project initiation document will vary from organization to organization and from project to project, but some elements are likely to be present, including project title, project purpose and objectives, project start date and expected finish date, details of the project sponsor and project, authorization by the main stakeholders. Other elements of information may be included in project initiation document, such as outline schedule of work, budget information, outline of project scope and work sequence, further details of roles and responsibilities. Part D. Analyse, assess and classify the costs and benefits of a project investment. Organisations have adopted a benefits management approach to identify benefits. Benefits management is made up of 5 key stages as below. 1. Identify and structure benefits. 2. Plan benefits realisation. 3. Execute benefits plan. 4. Review and evaluate results. 5. Establish potential for further benefits. The first stage of the diagram, identifying and structuring benefits, is important for inclusion in the business case. The point of the business case is to secure funding by demonstrating the benefits for the organisation that the project will bring. Part E. Establish the role and responsibilities of the project manager and the project sponsor. The project manager takes responsibility for ensuring the desired result is achieved on time and within budget. Some project managers have only one major responsibility, a specific project. However, anyone responsible for a project, large or small, is a project manager. As a result, many project managers will have routine work responsibilities outside their project goals, which may lead to conflicting demands on their time. The role a project manager performs is, in many ways, similar to those performed by other managers, such as project managers are often generalists with wide-ranging backgrounds and experience levels. Project managers oversee work in many functional areas. Project manager facilitates rather than supervises team members. The process of selecting a project manager will largely be driven by the perceived importance of the project being undertaken and the skills that the organisation's senior management believes are needed to deliver the project successfully. The overall issue for all project managers is understanding how to balance the factors of scope, resources, time and risk. However, a project manager also has responsibilities both to management and also to the project team. Responsibilities to management. Ensure resources are used efficiently, strike a balance between cost, time and results. Keep management informed with timely and accurate communications. Manage the project to the best of their ability. Behave ethically and adhere to the organisation's policies. Maintain a customer orientation, whether the project is geared towards an internal or external customer. Customer satisfaction is a key indicator of project success. Responsibilities to the project and the project team. Take action to keep the project on target for successful completion. Ensure the project team has the resources required to perform tasks assigned. Help new team members integrate into the team. Provide any professional support required when members leave the team, either during the project or on completion. The project sponsor provides and is accountable for the resources invested into the project and is responsible for the achievement of the project's objectives. It is common to refer to the person or group providing the resources to a project as the project sponsor. The project sponsor may, in fact, be the senior management at the top of the organisation, or may be a person or committee at a lower level. The essential feature is that the project sponsor has the budgetary capability to authorise the project. The project sponsor will not be involved in the management of the project and may not have the capacity to provide effective supervision for the project manager. Under these circumstances, the project sponsor may appoint a project owner, whose role will be to review project plans and progress at regular intervals and to arbitrate on any conflicts that may arise between project and line management. Of course, in smaller organisations, the roles of project sponsor and project owner may be combined. Part F. Assess the importance of developing a project plan and its key elements. The unique nature of each project means that careful planning is an essential component of project management. Many project failures can be traced to failures of planning. The project plan is used as a reference tool for managing the project. The plan is used to guide both project execution and project control. It outlines how the project will be planned, monitored and implemented. There are a number of tools which project managers can use when planning the delivery of a project, such as Work Breakdown Structure, WBS, is fundamental to traditional project planning and control. Its essence is the analysis of the work required to complete the project broken down into manageable components. Project Budget is the amount and distribution of resources allocated to a project. Building a project budget should be an orderly process that attempts to establish a realistic estimate of the cost of the project. There are two main methods for establishing the project budget: top-down and bottom-up. Top-down budgeting describes the situation where the budget is imposed from above. Project managers are allocated a budget for the project based on an estimate made by senior management. In bottom-up budgeting, the project manager consults the project team and others to calculate a budget based on the tasks that make up the project. WBS is a useful tool in this process. Gantt chart shows the deployment of resources over time. A Gantt chart is a horizontal bar chart used to plan the timescale for a project and to estimate the resources required. Gantt chart displays the time relationships between tasks in a project. Two lines are usually used to show the time allocated for each task and the actual time taken. Critical Path Analysis, CPA, aims to ensure the progress of a project so the project is completed in the minimum amount of time. Usage of Network Analysis, also known as Critical Path Analysis, CPA, as a useful technique to help with planning and controlling large projects, such as construction projects, research and development projects, and the computerization of systems. CPA aims to ensure the progress of a project, so the project is completed in the minimum amount of time. It pinpoints the tasks on the critical path, which is the longest duration sequence of tasks in the project. A delay to any of these tasks would delay the completion of the project as a whole. The technique can also be used to assist in allocating resources such as labour and equipment. A resource histogram shows a view of project data in which resource requirements, usage and availability are shown against a time scale. Part G. Monitor and formulate responses for dealing with project risks, issues, slippage and changes. Project risk. All projects carry an element of risk, for example the risk of an inappropriate system being developed and implemented. Risk management is concerned with identifying such risks and putting in place policies to eliminate or reduce these risks. The identification of risks involves an overview of the project to establish what could go wrong and the consequences. Risk management may be viewed as a 6-stage process. Stage 1. Plan the risk management approach. Determine the degree of risk aversion that the project sponsor is prepared to tolerate. Stage 2. Identify and record risks. Identified risks should be recorded in a risk register. This will include details such as description of the risk, the probability of the risk occurring, and the potential impact on the project should it occur. Stage 3. Assess the risks. There are 2 aspects to the assessment of risk: the probability or likelihood that the risk event will actually take place, the consequences of the risk event if it does occur. The likelihood and consequences of risks may be plotted on a matrix so that those high impact, high likelihood risks are identified. Stage 4. Plan and record risk responses. There are 4 strategies when dealing with risk: avoidance, activities that could carry risk are not performed or are removed from a project. For example, an acquisition is rejected because of the potential legal liabilities attached to the potential acquisition target. Reduction or mitigation. The potential for the risk cannot be removed, but mitigation can reduce the severity of any loss or the likelihood of the loss occurring, for example, by entering into an escrow agreement alongside the purchase of a bespoke software solution. Transference. The risk is passed on to someone else, perhaps by means of insurance or possibly by building it into a supplier contract. Absorption or acceptance. The potential risk is accepted in the hope or expectation that the incidents and consequences can be coped with if necessary. Stage 5. Implement risk management strategies. Stage 6. Review the risk management approach and actions for adequacy. Risk management is a continuous process. Procedures are necessary to regularly review and reassess the risks documented in the risk register. Project slippage occurs when a project runs behind schedule. When a project has slippage, there are a number of options available to the project manager. There are also 2 specific courses of action a project manager should consider if a project starts to slip dramatically, but has a fixed deadline and so cannot be delayed. These are fast tracking and crashing. Project change procedure. Some of the reactions to project slippage would involve changes that would significantly affect the overall project. Other possible causes of changes to the original project plan include the availability of new technology, changes in personnel, a realization that user requirements were misunderstood, changes in the environment, new legislation like data protection. The earlier a change is made, the less expensive it should prove. However, changes will cost time and money and should not be undertaken lightly. When considering a change, the project manager should conduct an investigation to discover a. The consequences of not implementing the proposed change, b. The impact of the change on time, cost and quality, c. The expected costs and benefits of the change, d. The risks associated with the change and with the status quo. The process of ensuring that proper consideration is given to the impact of proposed changes is known as change control. Changes will need to be implemented into the project plan and communicated to all stakeholders. Part H. Discuss the benefits of a post-implementation and a post-project review. The post-project review is a formal review of the project that examines the lessons that may be learned and used for the benefit of future projects. The review is intended to be beneficial to the organisation as it considers the success of the project by asking the following. A. Was the project achieved on time and within budget? B. Was the management of the project as successful as it might have been, or were there bottlenecks or problems? This review covers 1. Problems that might occur on future projects with similar characteristics. 2. The performance of the team individually and as a group. In other words, any project is an opportunity to learn how to manage future projects more effectively. Post-implementation reviews are assessments of the completed working solution. The post-implementation review focuses more specifically on the output that was produced by the project. It is carried out for 3 main reasons. To determine how well the project met its objectives, delivered the expected benefits, and addressed the requirements that were originally defined. To consider the working solution to see if further improvements could be made to optimize the benefit delivered. To identify lessons that can be learned and fed back into the output production process. This could involve improving processes such as research and development, and operational processes, as well as making changes to who is involved in certain processes and the timings at which individual processes are carried out. In order to do this, work will centre around determining the current situation, identifying the benefits actually being delivered in comparison to those originally defined by the project, and identifying any further improvements that could be made and the learning points for the future.